Check the description for the following discount codes. Today we're looking at some quite cool gadgets from Damien at Sim Racing Addict. These are what he calls flag displays, and if you haven't guessed, they will display flags, pit limiter warnings, you know, car on the left, car on the right, green light, red flag, blue flag, basically anything you want, what gear you're in. It's all fully programmable through SimHub. And he makes these, they're about 50 quid each, I think. There'll be an eBay link in the description. And they're available in a wide variety of colours, fitment options, shapes and sizes, really. What we've got here are the one in my left hand doesn't have a smoked display. The one in my right hand does. And in my opinion, I prefer the one with the smoke display. I don't like to see the LEDs. I think this looks much nicer. And the sort of drawback to that is the overall brightness will be diminished a little bit. But having tested them here at my desk, and I'll show you in a second, it's still plenty bright enough in my opinion, and that's what I would go with. You can see we've got two different colour stripes running down the centre section here, and that this one is kind of flush, whereas this one has like a hood that comes out over the top as well. Mounting options, this one here, we've got a swivel mount. Actually, this isn't a swivel mount. Well, it is a swivel, but it swivels sort of that way. He also now does a GoPro sort of universal mount option, which I'll put a picture up of now. So that's available as well. And then this other one I have here, it's got this little piece, sort of plate that comes down the back here. You can add this on the bottom and have it as a just sort of stand where it will stand up. And it also comes with T-nuts, so you could put this straight into aluminium profile, bolt it straight in. This plate also comes off, so you can rotate it all around, so you can have it coming out the side of your aluminium profile, one on the right, one on the left. You can have it coming out the center, at the top, wherever you feel like. I think there's DD1 mounts available as well. All sorts of options. Just, you know, look on his eBay page and you'll see. Now this is all 3D printed, and I'm not a huge fan of 3D printing, but this is really nice quality. Let me see if I can give you a little close up. It's so neat and tidy. The finish is just really, really good for 3D printing. Probably the best I've seen, if I'm perfectly honest with you. Sim Racing Addict on the back there. So yeah, it's really, really nice quality. And these LEDs are super, super bright. They run a little Arduino board in here to control them through SimHub, as I mentioned. You get quite a long length of USB cable. I'm going to say probably 2 meters, because I'm almost, well, I'm 186 centimeters tall. So it's longer than what my height is, because if you don't know, fingertip to fingertip is equal to your height. So yeah, good couple of meters of length there, and we all like plenty of length now, don't we, boys? But yeah, so far, like the build quality is really, really nice. The finish is really, really nice. Super bright, loads of length, loads of customization as far as SimHub goes, and how you'd like it. Colors, shapes, sizes, mounting options. Pretty sweet, if I'm honest. So yeah, decent stuff. You also get a couple of little Sim Racing Addict stickers, should you want to put them on your rig somewhere. But let's get one of these plugged in now, just here, and I'll turn my light off that's shining at me to try and give you an idea of the brightness of these. Now obviously this is going to be on camera, so it may not show up like it does in real life, but as far as I'm concerned, they're plenty bright enough. And what you'll see here is both of them at 20% brightness. Now Damien, he emails you full installation instructions and a SimHub profile just to get it up and running straight away without any issues, and he also recommends you a brightness setting. So this, as you can see here, is the one without the smoke screen at 20% brightness, and that, in my opinion, is plenty bright enough. So now if I plug in and try and hold these both together so you can see the difference when I switch over. Let's plug in the other one. This is the one with a smoked screen. At the moment, I can't have them both running at the same time because my SimHub profile doesn't allow it. But you can run them. He has done. So he's got one programmed as an LED matrix and one programmed as, let me just pull up SimHub. I'll tell you, the other one's programmed. So you've got one programmed as RGB matrix, the other one's programmed as RGB LEDs, so that you can run them separately on the left and right hand sides of your rig. So yeah, that's 20% brightness on that one. If I then unplug that, the other one hopefully will come to life automatically. There we go. So even with the smoked glass, it's only a tiny bit dimmer, and you could turn the brightness up more, although I think it might be 20% that he recommends as the maximum, or it could be 50%. I can't remember now, sorry Damien, I'd need to recheck the email, but he tells you anyway. And going over the recommended brightness just doesn't yield you any benefit, that's all. It's the only reason you have a maximum recommended. But I really like this one with the smoked glass, because when you've got, like where it says up there, you don't see the LEDs, you know, all around it, and it's much easier to read. So that's what I would go with. I think these are pretty sweet little gadgets, to be honest. But what I'll do now is I'll go and install one, probably this one, because that's my favourite from the smoke point of view. Go and install it on the rig, and we'll just fire up ACC and you can see it in action. Now I'm not going to be able to reproduce every single flag option available that this can do, so there'll also be a link in the description to one of Damien's videos where he's cycling through every single sort of possible display it can do, and that's worth a look because you'll see all the different ones it can do. And there must be, I don't know, 8 to 10 or so, perhaps, something like, quite a few different things it does, so very interesting to see. He also does like a little digi-dash, sort of similar to this but bigger, using is it a Nexian screen? I've got it sitting here somewhere, I haven't yet. Yeah, Nexian screen. And this will be coming in another video of mine where I build that up, and that will obviously do, you know, your revs and everything, and it's a proper LED screen rather than a dot matrix style setup like this. So you put that in the middle. You could have it as, you know, you can have these either side, you could have that in the middle, be a pretty sweet little setup. But yeah, again, we'll just look at the 3D printing on this. It's just some of the best 3D printing I've ever seen as far as the finish goes. Super nice. But yeah, I mean, who doesn't like flashing lights and LEDs, and who doesn't like smoked glass? So, or well, smoked perspex it probably is. But I think that looks pretty sweet. Anyway, enough of the waffle coal. I'll go get it installed and we'll have a little play on the rig. We're here at ACC. I'll give you a quick little demo of this flag unit running. I've just made sure it all works and everything. And it does have, literally out of the box, the profile, SimHub profile that Damien supplied has worked straight away. We're literally on the start line here. It's about to go green and give us the go. So you can just see, you'll see what gear I'm in. You'll see it flashes when we get to the rev limiter. You'll see the car on the right, car on the left notification and the green flag. And I'll just do a 30-second run to give you a little demo. As I say, if you click the link in my description to his video where it cycles through all the available displays that it does do. But this again is the one with the smoked glass. We're at 20% brightness, and looking at my preview on the camera, it looks probably as bright as what my OLED screen does there. You know, it's a nice balanced sort of brightness level. So I definitely recommend the smoked one, at least in my opinion. It looks a lot neater and easier to read without being able to see the unlit LEDs around it. But let's just have a little blast for 30 seconds and you guys can see how it works. So obviously the car on the right, so that's predominantly, that's sort of taken over from the green flag that was there initially, because I guess SimHub determines, or however it's programmed determines, knowing where the cars are rated to be more important than what the flag is. And then when there's no cars, you can see what gear you're in. If I drop it down to third or second even, and we'll hit the rev limiter, you should see it flash. Oh, so we see a flag there saying there was a slow car up ahead as well. Yeah, so it's flashing now because we're bouncing off the limiter. Whoop. Almost lost the arse end. But I think it's quite a cool little gadget. And if you have two of them, as I said earlier, you can have one on the left, one on the right for independent spotters. That would be quite a nice little setup. And then maybe add the digital dashboard. I'm not looking where I'm going. Digital dashboard here as well that he does. It's going to be quite a decent little sort of arrangement, you know. Who doesn't like flashing lights and more screens attached to their rig? But you know, it works through SimHub, so the same as anything else that SimHub supports. You've got a huge degree of customization as to how you want it to work. Damien's a super helpful chap, really nice guy to chat to as well. And if this is the sort of thing you're after, I don't see any reason not to grab one. You know, budget allowing, of course. It's a nice little toy. Yeah, as you can see, when there's not much going on, you just see what gear you're in, and then flashes on the limiter. Car on the left. Did that come up? Ooh. But yeah, seems to be doing exactly what it's supposed to do. Looks nice and clear in my peripheral vision. I'd have it a little bit higher if I was actually leaving it there and move that little keyboard out of the way. Or you could, Damien was even saying about, you know, hanging them from the monitors as well, so they're kind of more in your peripheral vision, like where your dash and that is. And that's probably not a bad idea either. You do notice, you know, even at this brightness level, you very much notice, you know, how bright they are. And I'm in full daylight here. It's a really sunny day, and I've got my studio lights. I've got my bright overhead lights on as well, and it's still so clear and easy to read. Anyway, before I crash horribly, let's end the video there. Yeah, so as far as I'm concerned, this is a nice little toy. And if you think 50 quid's a fair price, which I think it is, there's time and effort goes into throwing this together. You know, he obviously has to hand assemble them. They're not done in some factory somewhere, and the 3D printing, that 3D printing quality is, like I say, probably some of the best I've seen. So yeah, if this is the sort of thing you're after, whether you want one, whether you want two, whether you're interested in the full dash that I'm going to be building up and showcasing, you know, in a coming video, keep your eyes open for that. Click through the link in the description to his eBay shop. Have a little look at what he's got there as well. It certainly gets my seal of approval. Anyway, as always, thank you very much for watching, and take it easy.